In Season 2, Episode 23 of the show Disney's Recess, we seem to find an episode that seems dedicated to showing kids how capitalism works. And apparently the whole idea was to give kids a general understanding of how capitalism functions in our modern society. Well, I thought since, with every bad thing going on, the Ukraine, Venezuela, and whatnot, let's just take one day to step away from that and do something fun. And just see what it is take a look at what this show has to say. In this episode, the character TJ gets a generalized experience of what capitalism is, and we get a relative view of how capitalism works that's simplified to the level for children, which I assume was the intent of the writers. Personally, this is my favorite episode of the show. The episode is centered around the main character TJ, who, after a week of missing school from being sick, comes back to find that his friends and the rest of the school are now using these things called Mon stickers as a form of currency. They seem to be a parody of the Pokemon cards that came out about the same time. Now these Mon stickers ended up taking the form of currency that's used by all the students in the school. When TJ reaches the school, he finds that he has to give a payment of Mon stickers to even enter it. He soon finds that all these interactions have been commoditized in Mon stickers. This commoditization is strictly for the purpose of getting more Mon stickers. Even state-owned services like drinking fountains have been seized by private interests, kind of like privatization. If you don't have the stickers, then you don't get to use an essential service like water. People's rights only exist as an ability to own stickers, not receive water, which is an essential for life. After this, TJ begins to experience the class effect that money has. The previously very unpopular student Mendel now becomes very popular because he has Mon stickers. Mendel exemplifies privilege through ownership of means of production. His family owns a lot of stickers, or has a great deal of access to them. Thus, by merely having access to capital, or stickers in this case, he has a greater social influence he otherwise wouldn't have had. When TJ goes out for his first recess, he's confronted with his first real act of corruption. Randall, the pet to Miss Finster, is using his position as the person who gives out the balls for recess to start charging kids for them. He lets them bid on who can get the best ball in the box. Here, Randall exemplifies the bureaucrat capitalist. He uses his power in the government, the school administration, as a skill to be sold off to those private interests who have the most stickers. He is the corrupt bureaucrat who shirks his official duty in order to work in the service of the capitalist class. We see this with politicians who sell off rights to particular resources via bribes, or deregulate in exchange for bribes. TJ learns a very harsh lesson here during this recess break. He finds that without money, he can't hang out with his friends. He can't have any interaction with them or other kids because he doesn't have any money. It costs money to get the balls. It costs money to go to the tetherball court. He learns that all these interactions between kids have now been replaced with a commodity relation between individuals. If you don't have money in this society, you basically can't interact with it at all. In lieu of having any Mon stickers, he resorts to his friends' charity. Unfortunately, they can't give him enough in order to be able to do all the things that he wants to do. Charity just doesn't cut it. Despite what libertarians say, charity cannot fill the gap. TJ has real material needs, which charity cannot fulfill. As a metaphor for poverty, TJ ends up doing something he doesn't want to have to do in order to get by, to get some amount of currency to do the things that he wants to do, or in the case of a kid, he needs to do. What he ends up doing is selling his favorite hat, which is his trademark, a very important thing to him and his identity, over to Mendel for next to nothing because he has no choice. Kids don't just learn that in capitalism, sometimes you have to do things you really don't want to do in order to get by. They also learn the lesson that in poverty, there is a great deal of humiliation. Humiliation which TJ does suffer.
We won't charge you anything.
No thanks. I got a little moping to do.
Do mine eyes deceive me? The great T.J. Detweiler down on his luck?
What do you want, Menlo?
Just passing by. It's a free country. Outside the playground, that is. know, Detweiler, I've always fancied that cap of yours.
You mean the hat?
Care to part with it? I'll pay you handsomely.
Get lost. I'm not selling my hat. It's my identity, my trademark.
5 Mon stickers for your trademark. That should be attractive to a man in your, situation.
All right, take the darn thing.
Kind of womps, doesn't it, Detweiler? Toodles!
In this metaphor of poverty, TJ ends up submitting to employment. He has to in order to get by. And this refutes a lot of the idea in capitalism that this is a free and voluntary exchange, including the exchange of one's own labor. It's most certainly not. It is done out of necessity. It is most certainly coerced. TJ is inspired by the entrepreneurial spirit. Get in there, work hard, and you'll get ahead. This essentially takes TJ and cements his working class position. One thing that should be noted here as TJ takes on the various jobs, he must sacrifice his friends and his social life in favor of all this work to get ahead. The necessity of employment in capitalist function separates him from his actual life and his engagement with others. The human experience, the interaction with other people becomes inefficiency. This is the beginning of a small example of capitalist social alienation. This is an example of how the base, the process by which society's commodities are produced, determines the superstructure, the social relations, and all its phenomenon of that society. Eventually, TJ realizes the futility of everything he's doing. If he's going to actually get ahead, he's going to have to be one of the people who exploits. He's going to have to own the means of production himself. In other words, he has to start making some unequal exchange.
Man, I've been busting my arm for days, and I'm still just a working class schmo living sticker to sticker. There's gotta be a better way. Wait a minute, maybe there is. Here's my offer. I pay you 20 stickers up front, I watch the door, and we split the take 50-50.
30 up front.
25.
Deal. Yeah, cool. I hated getting up early in the morning anyway.
Hey kid, wanna make a few extra stickers?
Sure.
I'll pay you 2 stickers a day to work the door for me. How's that sound?
2 stickers just to stand there all day? Deal.
Tender.
They seem to be doing a pretty good job.
Hey, customer satisfaction is job 1. And getting paid is job 2. Start forking, boys.
Say, isn't that the boy who used to... Nah, couldn't be.
After this exploiting of labor has become very fruitful for him, what he does is begin concentrating capital towards himself. What he ends up doing is buying out all the balls in the schoolyard. He thus then owns the balls, keep the guy who previously had them, Randall, on pay, and then sells the balls himself.
And that's 2 stickers from the kid with the purple lunchbox. Going once, going twice. 300 stickers for all the balls. All the balls? Yeah, right.
Does anyone care to outbid me? Then it seems you have no choice.
But if you take all my balls, I'll be out of a job.
Oh, I don't intend to auction off all the balls myself. I'll keep you on at a reasonable wage.
Wow, thanks, TJ. I mean, Mr. Detweiler.
In fact, we see this all the time in real life. The best example would be Walmart. Walmart moves into a place, it's a big box store. Small mom and pop shops can't compete with them. Walmart puts them out of business, takes their business, and what happens is the customer base and then the means of production become centered around Walmart itself and ends up completely taking over. This is what we call a concentration of capital, or in the case of TJ, the concentration of the means of production. Now here is this phenomenon explained in the words of Karl Marx. Every individual capital is a larger or smaller concentration of the means of production, giving command over a larger or smaller army of workers. Every accumulation becomes the means of new accumulation. As the mass of wealth which functions as capital increases, there goes on an increasing concentration of that wealth in the hands of individual capitalists, with a resultant widening of the basis of large-scale production and the specific methods of capitalist production. The growth of social capital is affected by the growth of many individual capitals. 2 points characterize this kind of concentration, which is directly dependent upon accumulation, or gather identical with it. First of all, the increasing concentration of the social means of production into the hands of individual capitals is, other conditions being equal, restricted by the extent of social wealth. In the second place, the part of social capital domicile in each particular sphere of production is divided among many capitalists, who face one another as independent commodity producers, competing with one another. This splitting up of social capital into a number of individual capitals, or the repulsion of its fragments one by another, is counteracted by their attraction. The latter is not simply a concentration of the means of production and command over labor identical with accumulation. It is the concentration of already formed capitals, the destruction of their individual independence, the expropriation of capitalist by capitalist, the transformation of many small capitals into a few large ones. This process is distinguished from simple accumulation by this, that it involves nothing more than a change in the distribution of capitals that already exist and are already at work. Capital aggregates into great masses in one hand because elsewhere it is taken out of my hands. Here we have a genuine centralization and contradistinction to accumulation and concentration. As this takes place, things really begin to take off.
Hear those reports on sticker spending you wanted, Mr. Detweiler? Good work, Randall.
The slide is making a nice little comeback.
Hey, TJ, lunch tray revenues are starting to slip. Seems the kids are using their books to carry food.
Oh, really?
Then double the tray rental fee and institute a fine for anyone using their books to carry food.
Excuse me, sir, but according to my calculations, you now control 4 of every 5 bond stickers at 3rd Street School.
Excellent. Now we just need to figure out a way to get the rest.
But TJ, the kids can't afford to do anything as it is. Look around. They don't have stickers for balls. They don't have stickers to play on Old Rusty. They can't even sit on the grass. Everyone either works for you or just stands around and does nothing.
Good point. Gus, start charging kids for standing around. We'll call it a loitering fee.
This entire process of the concentration of capital brings it to its logical and self-destructive conclusion.
Where's that drink I asked for?
Here you go, Mr. TJ, sir. Nice cold juice.
Juice? I don't want juice. I very explicitly asked you for chocolate milk. If you expect to be paid around here, you better start carrying your weight.
Yes, sir, Mr. TJ, sir. TJ, that was just a little kid.
We're all little kids. It's the guts and spirit inside that makes us something more.
You used to have something really nice inside, TJ, but...
But what? I'm still the same TJ you guys know and love. I'm just rich is all. Here, this is one of the best playground balls I own. Take a 10-minute break and play with it. You just don't get it, TJ.
You want 15 minutes?
You know what? We don't want anything from you. We quit.
Fine, quit. Ingrates. Where's that chocolate milk?
At this moment, people who support capitalism would no doubt point to the fact that TJ built himself out of nothing to become this great thing, and that thus the entire system is therefore justified by this happening. Except that we know that this is not fair. This will not happen. Not anyone can. Just by the sheer act of the concentration of capital, not just anybody can end up in that position. What they are advocating is a literal impossibility. The concentration of capital and other economic phenomena prevent this so-called virtue of capitalism from actually materializing. Eventually, TJ comes into conflict with his friends. Now, why does this happen? TJ's transformation of consciousness, his change in human nature, takes place in his environment. The economic base of capitalism produces the superstructure. The material condition of TJ's life determines his social consciousness. This commodification of life, turning everything into an act of exchange, facilitates this transformation from friend into businessman. In this case, it manifests itself as a very Scarface-like-esque type character in monopolizing capital and having exchange replace social interaction. He alienates his friends, those he cares about. His social interaction with them goes from being friends to being people he exchanges with. Everybody eventually gets fed up with TJ's dictatorship of capital. They form their own currency and force him back into poverty. The exploitation, the brutalization of the working class, which he carried out, created the system's own gravediggers. Thus, they collectivized and threw out TJ's capitalist order.
Kids are laughing and playing. Old Man Kelso must have got more Mon stickers. Not to worry, they'll be mine soon enough.
You there, boy! I'm
I'm feeling zesty. I'll give you 20 stickers for that ball of yours.
20 stickers? You got a deal. Wait a minute, these are Mon stickers.
Of course they're Mon stickers, nitwit.
Too bad, I don't take Mon stickers.
What? You there, how many Mon stickers to rent your flying disc?
Mon stickers? Those are so over.
Over? But that's absurd.
2, please.
2 Mon stickers, right?
Afraid not. We're operating on lick and stick alien standard now.
Alien stickers? But no, it can't be. I'm
TJ's group of friends end up learning 2 very important lessons. One, they realize that they need some kind of regulation to prevent TJ from becoming such a monopoly capitalist ever again. They also learned that they also require regulation to try to deal with some of the inherent fatal flaws that exist within capitalism itself.
Looks like you could use a lift, man.
I don't deserve a lift. Not after how I acted. I got so caught up in hoarding stickers, I forgot I only wanted them so I could play with you guys.
Hey, we all make mistakes. How about a round of kickball?
Really? You mean you guys would actually take me back just like that?
Well, actually, there are a few conditions. And finally, you shall vow never to seek control of more than 10% of the total number of collectible stickers on the playground at any one time.
But a kid's gotta eat. Let me have 15.
Just sign it.
Welcome back, TJ. Now let's go play.
I would love to, guys, but I don't have a licking sticker to my name. I gotta get to work. Oh, good. King Bob looks sweaty. Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, in the end, the show still is pro-capitalist, which means all these social contradictions that's popped up manifested itself in the system correcting the market rather than, an overthrow of the society and creating an entirely new society in its place. I mean, after all, we can't expect a violent revolution. This is a children's show, after all. In the end, TJ realizes the error of his ways. His small trip into capitalism gives him a bit of a taste of what the capitalist system is actually like, and gives him a bit of a head up for what might be coming for him in the future when he becomes an adult and enters the real world. Thank you for watching. Please comment and rate the video. If you liked it, hit subscribe or check out some of these other great videos. If you wish, share it on social media. While you're at it, why don't you follow me on Twitter? And if you got time, go on over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.